Yeah, it's time for the self-care doctors. Woo! So come on in, everybody.
Yes, come on in, come on in, come on in.
Wellness Wednesday.
Wellness Wednesday, for real.
Yeah, Wellness Wednesday, talking about self-care.
Come on
So,
in, come
yep, come on in, everyone. If you are joining us live, be sure to let us know that you're here. Say hello. Don't be shy. Say hello. You let us know your name, where you're tuning in from. If you are catching a replay, be sure to type in hashtag replay. We want to know that you are here and show you some love for joining us and joining in on the conversation.
on. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we are the self-care doctors. I am Dr. Latoya.
And I am Dr. Shannon.
Yeah, so apparently we both love self-care. And we're
Hey.
doctors, hence self-care doctors. So I am a doctor of physical therapy, but I am a self-care doctor for those moms who are ready to transition from worn out to winning. I teach those moms how to no longer feel depleted, but develop necessary healthy habits to be nourished, renewed, and rejuvenated with biblical principles that bring peace instead of self pity.
Hi, Miss Nyla. And I
Hello, mommy.
Tommy. And I am Dr. Shannon, and I'm a doctorally prepared nurse, but also the other half of Self Care Doctors. I help boss ladies balance self care and success because you don't have to choose between one or the other, you can have them both.
Yes. And speaking of self care and success, we will be talking about that today. We are talking about self care in business
Mhm.
because we do need self care in order to function in our businesses, careers, whatever type of job, whatever your passion is. We need self care. So, yes, the two they intermingle. So, you have anything you want to add or start us off with, Dr. Shannon, on that topic?
Yes, I have done several, and actually, it's a podcast. So, promo um, podcast with the city of Virginia Beach, the SWAM business office, the small business office for Virginia Beach, interviewed me on a podcast that will be coming out soon, and I'm talking about this self care in business.
All right.
And small business owners and why it's important. So y'all stay tuned for that. But the preview to that conversation, I've done a couple of different workshops about that, and it's interesting because I love when it comes to being in a room with boss ladies. It's like
Mhm.
I'm there to serve and to have to initiate the conversation. But if I'm gonna be in a room full of bosses, I want to learn from y'all too. So
Exactly.
the things that I've talked about self care, I've talked about and taught them some things, and they've taught me some things. And me and you had a conversation, I think it was on our first live, about the difference between self care and self soothing. So
Right.
and that chocolate cake, that retail therapy. I'm sitting over here looking at all the bags and stuff. I didn't eat, not a shopping day, but my Amazon Prime boyfriend,
Uh-oh.
Nova over there. I'm like, Jesus, some self soothing going on. But that qualifies as self care and self soothing.
Right.
But anyway, self soothing are those wine and wine nights, WINE and WHINE nights that you have with your girlfriends. So that's a little bit of self soothing. So spending a little bit too many coins, doing a little bit too much is that self soothing. Those things that make you feel better,
Mhm.
they, as my coach would say, baby, they numbing you. They're not nourishing. Food, that comfort food, them extra calories, that 5,000 calorie meal that you had at Cheesecake Factory because you decided that you was gonna get the biggest entree, the biggest appetizer that they got, that's fried, dipped, and everything to the side. And you're gonna get the salad that's 2,000 calories, or you gonna choose to get something else that's smothered in some cheese and some old juicy goodness. Then you're gonna top it off with a 2,000 calorie cheesecake. Then you're gonna have a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 margaritas or something.
Uh-oh.
So you just sat down and ate about 6,000 calories. That's self-soothing, honey. She
Woo.
just numbed all of your emotions and increase your waistline and
Mhm.
your hip line. But while you was doing all that, when you wake up the next day, you might be a little hungover, but your problems are still there. So you numb the situation, but you didn't really nourish the situation, as in eating a salad, drinking your water, getting a workout, doing something that's positive, productive, and that's going to make you feel better and help you deal with what you got going on. But when it comes to self-care and business, it's as a business owner, we got a lot going on. You
Mhm.
sometimes when you first starting off your business, you were everything and anything that
Uh-huh.
your business
Your
needs.
order roles, administrative assistant, the CEO,
You
graphic
everything from
designers.
bottom, the head to the tail, the head to from the head to the foot. That's what you are to your business. And that don't mean you good at everything, nor do you like
Right.
doing everything that you got to do. So you have to learn how to have that balance of boss
Mhm.
and that balance of, okay, I need to take the time for myself to nourish, not numb myself as I go through and navigate the different nuances of business.
Yes, that is so true. And I love that you mentioned a lot of times business, whether you're a business owner or even if you're just starting out in a career, I know everybody don't want to be a business owner, but in your business, whether that's your career, job, whatever, things can be stressful starting out, whether it's a new role, new position, new environment, new people. We have to be sure that we are nourishing ourselves in different ways. So, I like that you mentioned, especially as, like if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you know, that's stressful.
Yes.
And like, some things you can delegate at times, but if you're just starting out, you might not have the money to delegate. So that's
Part.
stressful. Or like, oh, I need these coins so I can start delegating those tasks, which is something that we teach as the self-care doctors. You need to delegate, but sometimes you can't always delegate right away if your coins are looking funny, or sometimes you have to prioritize what your money goes to. So,
Mhm.
when you were actually talking about like the stuff that you're buying, like having the little Amazon Primes or your meals and stuff, it's okay to indulge at times or spend your money. A lot of times we make money so we can spend it, right? But you need to prioritize what you're spending your money on and how you're spending it. So maybe you did a little too much spending. So even as business owners or even in our careers, we have to invest in ourselves. A lot of times, if we want to grow,
Mhm.
for example, you and I, we both have licenses, so we got to pay for those things. They don't come free, unfortunately. You got to pay for licenses, certifications, your continuing education. And the same thing applies when you or a business owner. You may need certain certifications to help you learn how to give value to your clients or whatever type of business it is. It could be something you're doing with your hands. Maybe you're a handyman, whatever. You have to develop those tools and the tools, skills, expertise. Those things cost money.
Yeah,
But we can't always throw our money out right away. But we do have
yeah,
to learn how to invest in ourselves
absolutely.
without going broke.
A great epiphany like what you just said. So we're gonna leave y'all with some tips on how we do it. But one of the things in self-care and business that I had never thought about like this, but self-care and business is taking care of you and the whole so what of it. In all my presentations, I connect the dots and be like, okay, what do the two have to do with each other? A
Mhm,
healthy you equals a healthy business,
mhm.
period. Because
Yes.
if you're not healthy, look, all those things we mentioned from the janitor to the CEO, you're not going to be able to run your business. Your business is not going to run without you. So
Exactly.
if you are unhealthy, if you sick, you up in the hospital bed. It's like I got mad boss friends that be sick, having strokes and stuff, and they can't miss a day of whatever they got going on in their business. So they propped up with a laptop in the hospital.
Oh, in the hospital bed. I've seen it.
Do the same
Like,
thing.
ma'am, you just had a stroke.
Get the laptop.
I
Get
know
the
the bills not I knew the bills gotta be paid, but again, what's most important right now? Like you're not gonna be able to run that business or get back to your job if you don't heal.
facts. So it's important for us to understand that we're driving the two home and connecting the dots real close because, like she said, it's hard and you get burnt out. Just like I got burnt out in nursing with going too
Mhm.
hard. And nursing, I'm clocking and just doing
Oh
something
yes, that nurse burnout is real.
it's
I've seen it.
all mine. I don't have to run the hospital. I just got to run my 6 to 8 patients that I take care of and make sure everybody alive at the end of my shift, the end of my 12 hours, 13, 14 hours, or whatever. But if you are not healthy, then your business is not going to be healthy. If you don't take time for yourself, sometimes you feel like you don't have time to make time. But if you don't, trust me, that time that you step away from your business, I gain more clarity when I take time, because sometimes I'm like, I got this, and all the shopping that I was doing, insert plug, it's for my upcoming event. So I ain't mad at nothing, because I got to be slaying. I got to have a shoot.
Right.
I got to have a little workout gear. Like, I'll be on TV next week. I got to be all the way right, honey. So it's like when the things that I'm shopping for my events and for giveaways and all the things for business. But even amidst me doing all that, I had to take an hour and 15 minutes this morning to get my whole life together. And that time that I step away from my business, I get more clarity. I can think about things because I'm taking a walk, or I'm just being in daughter mode, or I'm being in boo mode, or whatever. I'm taking that time to disconnect to connect. When you disconnect from everything, the connection when you come back is so much more powerful. You have some clarity, you have so much more refreshing, you feel renewed when you have that time to step away from it. Like my authors, if you're writing, let me go ahead and connect it for the doctors. When you're working on your thesis or your dissertation, the more I wanted to kill everybody near me when I was writing, because my mentor kept saying, writing is advising, writing is advising, writing is advising. I wanted to shoot her in the head. However, while I'm writing and revising, when I stepped away from it, I was like, okay, I could think more clearly about it. I could process it. But I still, even my published dissertation has, even with an editor and me reading it for 2 years, has mad typos and errors. You know why?
Why?
You know why? Writing it was revising. It was never going to be perfect. It was perfect enough to be published and for me to graduate. But I needed to have that time, even away from my writing as an author and as I was doing my dissertation, to kind of separate myself, disconnect to connect, to really get into a better mental clarity space and have better energy and not be so stressed out about the task at hand when it came to handling business or handling academia.
Yes, I love you said disconnect to connect. And I love that because you were talking about like writing your dissertation, and even like when you brought up being a nurse, and I have experience in the health field also. So I've seen like nurses just running around. Like for me, I'm like, I work 9 to 5, literally 9 to 5. Y'all working like 12-hour shifts.
Girl.
It's stressful. So you have to, no matter what your job is, you have to make sure you are taking those breaks throughout the day too. So sometimes I could call a nurse to see if I can see their patient. And you have some, they'll be on their lunch break answering the phone. You got some who may answer the phone and like, oh, I'm on my lunch break right now, so you're gonna have to go talk to so and so. And sometimes you be thinking like, I need to see your patient though, but I understood too. Like, homegirl, like, look, I'm not even proud. Like they probably not even eating their full lunch break or whatever. Like, let me just get my time and I'll get back to you. So you have to be intentional about taking those breaks because it does lead to burnout. I know nurses burn out. Like with the neck up, and then even that's with any of your jobs. So for me, a lot of times I used to be trying to make sure I like get out on time to go pick up the kids and everything. So a lot of times I wouldn't always take an actual lunch break. I'm like eating and documenting. And sometimes my boss would say, like, no, you need to take an actual lunch break. And it's true because like sometimes look, sometimes those lunch breaks be so good, you don't even want to go back to the office, but sometimes you really have to really step away from that environment. Just take a breather. Especially if it was a beautiful day, you go outside that hospital, sit outside with a garden, the sunshine, and like you really go back in feeling refreshed. It's like you had to take that time out. I don't care if you walk around. I know one of my jobs, there used to be a nice little walkway. So sometimes my coworkers and I, we would eat and then go take a walk and come back, and look, then you burn some calories and stuff too. You ate, burn some calories, got some vitamin D, some natural vitamin D. It really makes you feel better. So then when you go back, to the office or whatever, you document, and then, like you said, you have more mental clarity. You're the more physical energy. Yeah, mental and physical energy. So those breaks are vital. They're necessary, no matter what job or career. Even if you work for yourself or you're working at home, a lot of people are working from home right now. Step away from the computer. Go outside, get some fresh air. Go for a jog, a walk, a car ride, whatever. Step away,
Mhm.
stressing yourself out without just taking a break. A lot of us want to go and get it done, but then we're exhausted at the end of the day. Be sure y'all
Mhm.
take those actual breaks.
Yes.
You know, we ain't trying to work more than what we getting paid for. So take a break. Like I said, even if you are working for yourself, take a break. That's the one of the benefits of working for yourself. You make your own schedule. Take a break.
And you hit on a lot of great things, and I want to transition into, so we know why we need to do self-care and business, why it's important.
Mhm,
We talked about a couple of things as far as nourishing ourselves with healthy foods and
mhm,
time for exercise and taking breaks and all of that. But one of the things that we connected on two different levels, so the
mhm.
picture that y'all see floating around as of yesterday is from the weekend, is self-care in business. So
Mhm,
things that I talk about in my book that I don't have, we talk about self-care from spirit, mind, body, relationships, and business and work. So self-care in business is, as she said, investing in yourself.
mhm.
Investing in yourself, like the clothes that I got all around that I need to take out all these. But investing in yourself in that way, but also investing in coaching. I believe
Mhm.
self-care is how I met you. We
Yeah.
decided we were going to invest in ourselves and invest in our business by
Mhm,
hiring the same exact coach. So
mhm.
connected to Dr. Cheryl Wood has been self-care at its finest. It's so funny because I need to put a little thing in our little GSU community, because I'm like, every time I'm at an event with her, I get booked for another event. And
There you
I'm like,
go.
I'm gonna keep showing up at events for you, Hunty, because you keep making me coin. So the money that I spent on getting in the room is like
Mhm.
it got replenished. I was like, what in the I
You
went
there.
back to my hotel. I was like, this, I
An
don't know
investment is
what.
returning.
Exactly. So that's self-care at its finest. When I had planned out my weekend, it was like I had an event on Thursday, then it was Friday and Saturday with y'all. So Thursday was all about me pouring out. I had to pour out at work, and then I had to pour into 50 people at a conference. Got it. And then Saturday, I'm like, I'm gonna be poured into. I'm gonna be a student. So I'm gonna be a teacher on Thursday. I'm gonna be a student on Friday, and then I'm gonna chill and
Keyword you said
Saturday.
you were poured into.
Yes,
You weren't
yes,
being drained. We were actually being poured into.
yes. Poured into, filled,
You
as
want
Dr.
a business or career that pours back into you, not just takes
That
from.
part, that part, being poured into and given the strategy, the structure, the support, the blueprint for success in my business.
Mhm.
That's self-care too. So
Mhm.
not just investing in the technology and all the things that we need, the different pieces, the people on Fiverr, the virtual assistants,
Mhm.
the website, all of those technical things, yes, but also investing in you as a person to get
Mhm.
the coaching, to get the structure and strategy, because that'll save you life years. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much stuff that I've learned in one day that saved me like a whole year of me trying to YouTube University it, Google it, like Google it, and you're like, I can Google some stuff. I'm a researcher. Like, I got a PhD. You got a doctor. We doctors. We know
Uh,
how to look up stuff. But god dang, by the time you research it, take all these free courses on Instagram, go through all these master classes on webinars and try to put it
mhm.
together. Somebody could tell you in 1 hour what you could have researched in 6 months.
Exactly. Yep.
That's self-care to me. I
It
don't
is.
know.
It's
I don't
self-care to
know.
me. It is self-care to me. That's why we say you have to invest. Sometimes the word invest doesn't necessarily always mean money. Sometimes it means money and being, like I said, poured. You are poured into. Like it felt good, and I want to expound on that too. So, for example, I am a physical therapist, but most of the time when I have to do my continuing education courses, I'm just looking at the time like, oh my gosh, when is this going to be over? It could be interesting. I'm still waiting for it to be over. When you are doing something you truly love, because yes, as a physical therapist, I love it, but it's not my main love anymore. This self-care coaching is my love. When
Mhm.
you're doing something you truly love, it does not feel like work at all. I just felt like I was sitting in a room just with a bunch of wonderful people. Like we were having a good time. I forget I haven't posted all the pictures yet, but like we were cracking up. There's one picture I have. Javon and I are cracking up, and I'm looking like, what in the world were we laughing at this time? I don't even remember, but like we had a great time. So no matter what you do, like I said, whether it's business, as in you're the business owner or you're working for a business in your career, make sure this is another part of self-care. Make sure you are doing something that you love. That's self-care. Not going to a job or just doing something just to make some coins. We have to be in something that we enjoy doing, because when you're doing something you enjoy, it doesn't feel like it's work. And
I,
I don't know about y'all, but I want to do something that doesn't feel like work. And I'm not saying it's never going to feel like it's work. Like, you're going to have some times when you feel busy, but it's a good busy, like something you like I said, you enjoy doing. To me, that's self-care. And the fact, like, during our mastermind, we said our coach was pouring into us, and
Mhm.
that actually all the other people that was there, we were pouring into each other in some kind of way. And this is another thing we loved, Shannon and I. It was one day of business, and even though we had a good time that day, the next day was followed up by what?
With-
Just self-debt, just self-care, rejuvenation. So you had your business, so you're poured into. Sometimes, when you get a lot of information, this can be for anything, conferences, classes. Sometimes the information is great, but you can feel overwhelmed with the information because you just feel like, oh my gosh, like I got to remember all this stuff or implement this stuff. It could be overwhelming. So then you have to have some kind of downtime, whether it's the same day, in that evening, the next day, whatever. You got to like you said, rejuvenate, refresh, renew, give your
all
mind a little
the
break.
all the resets,
Yeah, reset.
re- reprocess.
Right. Like after that day, I'm like, I kind of want to go somewhere, but you know what? I know I need to rest. I'm gonna go back to my hotel room and rest.
Yeah, absolutely. So self-care is going to be the foundation of a healthy business.
Mm-hmm.
I like to look at it like that because you have to maintain you, and
Mm-hmm.
as long as you maintain that strong healthy foundation, it'll be something solid for you to build on.
Yeah.
Not to say that you cannot listen. Me and my mom were talking about network marketing. I don't know why yesterday, but we were talking about the difference in network marketing. They said most of the people who are successful are ignorance on fire. It's
Mm-hmm.
ignorance on fire or knowledge on ice. Knowledge on ice means you learning everything. You're an infopreneur. You got to learn everything. You got to know everything from A to Z before you even start. And ignorance on fire is like, okay, I sell weight loss products. I lost 2 pounds. I'm gonna tell the whole entire world. I don't know the ingredients. I don't know if it's gonna kill them or not. I'm just gonna share my story at home, right? So whenever, regardless of whether or not you practice self-care, you can be successful in business, but it would not be successfully and sustainable in business because you will hit that roadblock, that burnout, that everything that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't if, hunty, it's
When?
when. 'Cause my mama always tell me, baby, I've gotten a lot better about this. You spend so much time running through the rose garden, but you don't stop and smell the roses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you spend so much time running, trying to serve people, trying to help people. And when you have the heart of a doctorally prepared physical therapist and a doctorally prepared nurse, we have to have a passion for people. We wouldn't have put ourselves through that much academic pain, right?
Woo!
We
Too
wouldn't have
many
went to
years
the
in there.
highest level, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten the terminal degree in our field if we didn't love taking care of people. We just
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have done that. You just don't do that. You don't sign up for that type of pain and those type of student loans.
Right.
Okay. So the fact that we decided to do that means that we're passionate about it. But
Mm-hmm.
just like both of us said, we run into burnout seasons of our career where we like, you know what, we got to do something different. So whether in corporate, this applies to you in corporate and in business. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
take time for yourself, you're never going to be able to show up as your best self, as the healthiest version of yourself. And even if you do, even if you don't listen to us, you're like, whatever, I'm fine. Okay, honey, keep running, running through the rose garden. You running through the rose garden. You getting all the coins. You doing all the things. You living your best life until you get sick,
Mm-hmm.
or until you get frustrated, or until life really hits you in a certain way to where you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with this? At some point in your life, no matter how successful you are in your journey, you're going to have something that impacts you spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
financially, relationshiply, or business and corporately. You're
Yep.
going to have something that impacts you in one of those ways, and you're
Mm-hmm.
going to want to have a good, solid foundation and base of strategy and strength where you go to refresh, where
Mhm.
you go to pour into your cup, because you can continue to pour, but you can't pour from an empty cup. If you continue to pour from your serving, my mentor always tell people, baby, you got to serve from your salsa, not from your serving. You serve your business and corporate and everybody else from your overflow. If
Mhm.
you're not full, then you're not going to be able to serve from your overflow. And if you serving from your serving, then your serving is being depleted and it's going to eventually
Mhm.
run out. But you got to realize what is going to be your source of refueling, replenishing, and renewing so that you can continue to grow and to show
Mhm.
up as the best version of yourself.
Exactly. Like I said, the best version of yourself. When you just giving what's left of you, you ain't giving the best of you. And that's the whole point why we want to give from that overflow. You are able to give the best
Say that
of
again. Say that
yourself,
again.
everything
Say
you
that again.
do.
Say that
All
again.
the work you putting in, whether it's a new idea, like I said, dissertations, you got to write up some reports or whatever. You putting your all in that bad boy. You might have to do some presentations for work. You're giving them a nice a live version versus a dead version. Nobody want to hear you. Like you can even. This is a good thing too. You can even respond a certain way. So some of us might be in careers that you know we're trying to get out of, or the work environment ain't that great. Maybe you had a business meeting, everybody ain't your vibe. You got to have that self care to make sure you're reacting the way
Uh,
you should, you know? Like, okay, their little attitude a little funky, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just kill you with my kindness. Show you what I'm made of. Let my work do the talking for me, So we have to make sure that we are nourishing ourselves so that we can appropriately respond to certain things and not, we want to respond as both of us, we're godly women. We want to respond as godly women and whew,
right. You don't
not
want
like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take this bad road today. Like, ain't no Michelle Obama today.
when they go low, we go high.
Right. We don't want to be like, you know what? Forget
Go
that. I'm
high
going
is
low
when I'm
today.
self care. Full, we go high. When I'm not full of self care, they go low, we go in.
Uh-huh.
Right? They go low,
I'm
we
not
go
even mentioning your level. I'm gonna go lower.
don't play. This don't play, don't play. And I love that you said that. I heard that at some kind of couples something I was listening to on social media, and it was talking about, oh, it was a business conference, but they were talking about how to sustain your relationship and how to continue to be successful in the scale in business and in corporate. And they said when it comes to your family and the people that you love, while you're running after and chasing success and chasing $1 million, chasing the 2 million, chasing the followers, chasing all these other types of things, you can't just show up in your business and that work is the best of you and give your family the rest of you.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, child. So I'm like, if we supposed to give the best of us at work and at home, we really got to practice self care, because
Exactly.
I ain't no mommy yet. I got a little fur baby that's running around here somewhere. That's a little feistiness. There's 4 pounds of feistiness and just the diva of the house. However, when you got 3 boys and a whole husband like you do, it's like you got to have that balance for yourself. And I know that. How do you do it? So, as you got a lot more to juggle than I do
Mhm.
when it comes to holistic life, how do you find the time to juggle it so that you can have time for your business and your family and show up as the best version of yourself as a wife, as a business owner, and as a
Mhm.
mom?
Definitely had to be intentional about my schedule. So I've been trying to get better with a planner because I have,
Organization. One step
yeah,
one,
sure.
organization.
Look, I will have plans in my head, but you can't function well if it's only up here. You got to have it down. So I got calendars, I got planners, look, I got a digital I got a digital planner and a paper planner, and you got to write out those things that you have to do, those things that are essential, but maybe not have to get done right away. So like my each day is mapped out. Bottom line.
Organize.
Down to okay, of course, two older boys go to school. And even in that time, I'm getting me some self-care time. I'm listening to either some gospel music, sometimes it's just quiet, like they're kind of tired, so they're not really talking either. My quiet time, or I may go ahead. like especially if it seems like they're gonna be quiet and not talking to me. I may go ahead and start like doing like a Bible study. I'll put the Bible study on and start listening to it. So it just depends on the morning can just flow. It just depends on like, all right, are we talking today? Is everybody kind of something they want to be quiet and left alone? Great. Then I'm gonna be left alone too. My own quiet time. It's my quiet time even though they're in the car. And then even after I drop them off, that's really my quiet time period. Before I go back in the house, I sit there for a little bit, finish
Mm-hmm.
my Bible study, might just sit there quietly. If I have like some appointments I need to schedule or groceries I might need to order, and I say order because I really ever go to the store anymore. I'm doing all that stuff, plugging in. So like that's all my time before I go back in the house, like which is like usually around 9 a.m. Then I have
Mm-hmm.
my certain hours that I do work on the business. Right after that, I'm working on my business, and it depends on the day. Some days I have support. Look, shout out to the support. My mother-in-law comes up here a few days a week, so when she's here, I'm doing my business. I'm working on my business, and then on the days that she's not here, that's when I have activities planned for me and the little one while the older two are at home. And then usually my evenings are pretty much always the same. But again, I know what's going to happen. Like, okay, pick up kids, homework time, whatever else time. If I have some time to work on my business, I may work on it. If not, I don't stress out about that time because that's not in my schedule to, do so. You got to make sure you're not stressing yourself out trying to do things that you did not already plan for. My day is planned. So if I don't get to work on XYZ in the evening, it is okay. That was not in the plan. So it's really important, very crucial to have a planner or weekly you can do it different ways. You can do it like weekly planning, so you at least know if it's something different that you may need to do this week. Maybe got a hairdresser appointment or something different, out of the ordinary. And then you have to have like your daily schedule. So whether it's in detailed, like from this and that time, or just a to-do list. I got these 5 things I want to do today. This is what we're gonna do. When I say 5, I said 5, not 10. We gotta start making those to-do lists short. And even with those short to-do lists, pick the main thing that keyword must be done. Because a lot of times we are putting things on our schedule that can wait another time. And then we have some things that we must do today, So it's really about prioritizing that time and what I do with my time. So I'm scheduling in my self-care time. And then, of course, like I said, I have different ways that I kind of try to keep myself at peace or feel rejuvenated throughout the day period. Like I said, rather I could be working on my business and have some background music on. Or I might just want to be, having my quiet time. So I do things throughout that day, to kind of make me feel good. If I need I've been working at something real hard all day long on the computer. It's like, okay, need to take a break, step away from the computer, go get some water, a little healthy snack, something. So it's really about being intentional, bottom line. Like being intentional about taking those breaks, being intentional about how I'm going to self-care, make it a verb, not a noun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I just got a schedule and I try to stick to it as best as I can. And usually when the frustration comes, I have to check myself and like, well, you are doing something that you said you were not going to do. So it's really checking myself too. Like, you're frustrated because you say you weren't going to work on it. So why are you working on this? Go back to what you're supposed to be doing. Because sometimes we can go in a rabbit hole. Like, for example, like the ordering stuff. Rather, I'm ordering something on Amazon or groceries. I'm like, yeah, you can do this at any time of the day. You can do this while you're laying up in bed before you go to bed, not during the time you're supposed to be working on your business.
Right. I,
So you'll think of something like, oh, the idea pops in your head, and then you didn't went far left. Like, okay,
squirrel,
bring it back. Bring
squirrel,
it back. Right. Bring it back.
squirrel. I have listen. I caught myself on the squirrel moment today. I was in. I'm not gonna say which meeting, but I was in a meeting and we was talking about something. And then I just went on. I call it a staycation. I stayed in my seat, but my mind went on vacation. I'm about something else, and I picked up my phone because I had a notification. Next thing you know, I'm on Amazon. I'm still in the meeting, but on Amazon, I'm like, oh, I need some more juices and berries for my hair, and
Mhm.
oh, it is cute. Squirrel on camera, but I was in my mind was somewhere that they was talking on the meeting, but I was ordering on Amazon. Squirrel.
That's really my main thing that I'm working on, like as far as improving. Other than that, I'm usually good. Like I said, as long as I stick to my schedule and like I said, don't go off my mind to start wandering, doing hit this and that and the third. I'm good.
Yeah, you hit on a lot of great things, and I'm like, I do a lot of what you do, so I'm not gonna go down my list, and I think I so. But as we wrap up, I think that the major takeaways that I took from you, and this is what I hear, we both coach, so
Mhm,
we hear different population but same stuff. So I
mhm.
think you can probably co-sign what
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Everybody come to me for self-care, and they might want the planner, they might not. They want to do the one-on-one, or they might want to use my planner to organize or whatever. But the whole point is, regardless of whether you talk to me or whether you use the planner, if you talk to me, you're gonna end up using the planner because that's what the planner is for. So some
Mhm.
people are independent enough to go on Amazon or drfitness.com, plug, and go ahead and order their self-care and success planner. That should be right here, but just act like I got one. But some people can do that and be a big girl and big boy and just walk themselves through it. And then some people, they want to buy the plan and then have coaching. But
Yeah.
regardless of what you do, when you work with a coach, a good coach,
Mhm.
a good coach is going to get you to where you want to be. A great coach is going to get you to where you never thought that you could be.
Mhm.
But regardless of whether they take you where you asked to go, like weight loss go, you're like, Dr. Fitness, I want to get snatched. I need to get abs. I want to be a girl in green dress. What you had on in the green dress was given what it's supposed to give. That's my life. Okay, honey. But then when I give you the plan, it be goes in the green dress. You be like, I ain't got time for that. I
Right.
can't. I'm like, you did what? You did what? How much water you been drinking? I can't pee that much. My life is not set up to where I can pee that many times a day. But regardless of what you get coaching for, whether you get
Mhm.
coaching from She's a Nurse Plug, from She's a Nurse Mom, and with Christian Moms, and she helps you organize and get your self care whole life together, or whether you work with me and you get pretty much the same thing, just different population. Regardless, you're gonna have to have organization, because normally when you come, you want something that you already say.
Mhm.
99.9% of my clients say that they don't have time for it, and I'm
Nope.
like, okay,
I
when
don't
we
have
do
time. I don't have time.
when the first assignment of, okay, so write out like how you spend your time in the week, every day for 7 days. Write out how you start everything you did from the time you woke up to the time you went to
Mhm.
sleep,
Like a
and
talent story.
that shows them how much time they waste. Like,
Waste.
you had time to watch sisters, you had
You
time to
on Amazon,
watch,
Facebook.
you was on Facebook for 22 hours this week. Like, no, let me see. Don't tell me how much time you was on social media. Send me the thing that your phone already creates for you on Sunday. You spent 89 hours on social media this week. I want to see that. I don't want you to give me no little summary of what you think. I I need the report. Send me the report that they sent you on Sunday. But regardless, everything that you said is what a good coach is going to walk their clients through.
Mhm.
And the good customer is going to be the determining factor. The greatness of the customer is going to determine where you get to where you want to get to, or whether you allow them to stretch you and get you to levels that you've
Mhm.
never seen. But it all starts with that structure and that organization. If you don't have that foundation of what you knowing what you're going to do, you can't just wake up all willy-nilly. You have to be, your magic word was intentional. You're
Mhm.
organized, you're intentional, and you have things on you in your life that you must do that are priority. A lot
Right.
of times we just flying through our lives,
Mhm.
flying through the minutes of our days with no intention. I gotta go to work, I gotta eat today. I might spend time with my boo. What else you got going on in your life, honey? Like, what else you like? You want to lose weight, and you say you got all these goals, but the only thing that's for sure you gonna do today is eat, go to work, and be booed up for a little
And
bit
go to sleep.
and go to sleep. I think you got a little bit more time. You at least got an hour to do something else, or maybe an hour and a half if we want to have you cook something for 30 minutes and then sweat for an hour. Go walking or whatever. Go out in nature. But intentionality and focus and knowing what you want, because the fact that you have a list of things that you must do, the things that must do, things that will be nice to do, and the things that if I get to them, I get to them. If I don't, it
Right.
ain't out.
Exactly.
Push this on out for another month. Like, if you get some time, whatever. So the
Mhm.
things that I have to do today in this 24 hours that I'm given, I have to make sure my children eat, my husband eat, my kids get to school, they get picked up. I might have to spend 1.2 hours on work or business this day. It might be 5 hours the next day. Whatever
Yeah.
it is that you got going on in your business, your children's schedule, your husband's schedule, your business schedule, a lot of those things or all of those things are going to drive what you have to do each day and how much time you spend on it. But
Right.
those things that are important to you. But beyond your kids, your husband, and your business, you put you on your schedule. So I love that part that you inserted, because a lot of times that's how I had to start with self-care, was making myself a priority, saying that I deserve time on my calendar,
Yeah.
because everything in this calendar that I get an alarm for every 30 minutes or 15 minutes is gonna get done. And I realized that I was showing up for everybody and everything else but myself.
Uh-huh.
One of my mentors said, baby, make an appointment with yourself. And
Yep.
bosses
That's
cancel.
it.
You gonna show up for everybody else. Why you can't show up for yourself? Block off an hour. I like to work out in the morning. That's my jam. I don't like
Mhm.
workouts. I'll do them, but I don't like them. I like to wake up and get my workout in before my brain realizes what I'm doing. So go ahead
And it
and
wakes you up too.
fact. So make that time. Okay, have a set schedule. Whatever you value, whatever you prioritize is gonna get done. And
Mhm.
like you said, what must you do? I have this new app that I'm using for an 8-week challenge, and thank God I only got 2 more weeks of this thing. But it's called Habit. So everything that
Okay.
I must do, it's like all of the habits and things that I must get. I'm a type A OCD, to do list checker
Mhm.
type girl. So I get some type, whenever I get to check something off my list, that gives me that
Feels
dopamine
good.
rush. That is the dopamine that I need
Right.
the life. So I love to be able to say, okay, I did that. And
Mhm.
every day I get to have that feeling, because I feel like at least I got something accomplished that I
Right.
must get
Mhm.
done. And everything on that list has to do with self care.
Mm.
Everything. And I think that that is one of the ways that I track it, and people can track it in different ways. Like you said,
Mhm.
you got old school paper planners and you got digital planners.
Visual. Look, I gotta see what works for me. We gonna do it all. Because one thing, period, this phone is always near me. I'm walking around with a paper pen on me, but I got that phone.
But prioritizing yourself and prioritizing your health and making yourself, putting you on your list is the whole
Mhm.
point. And the whole point of putting you on your list is so that you are putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, so that you're energized, so that you're fueled, and so that you are the best, healthiest version of yourself in life and in business. Any
Yes.
closing thoughts?
I mean, you hit on everything. Bottom line, we need self care for everything. We need self care to run our business, to flourish and grow in our businesses. I love that you mentioned having a coach and a mentor. Whether it's the same person or separate. Because coaches and mentors, they may do some of the same thing. They might do separate things. We have to make sure that we're investing in ourselves in some kind of way. So you're investing in yourself, whether that's financially or just investing in yourself. Like I said, through having a coach, a mentor, somebody, an accountability partner. We didn't mention that, an accountability partner. Connecting with other like-minded people, like Dr. Shannon and I, connecting with each other, to grow our businesses and have some self-care too. Um, and then pretty much, yeah, just that's the main thing, y'all. We need to have self care because we're going to run ourselves in the ground, in the grave, if we're not taking care of ourselves. You will run your business, your career in the ground if you're not taking care of ourselves. So, bottom line, when you're nourishing yourself in every way that we mentioned, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, even taking care of our money financially, we're going to grow in every area. Like who doesn't want to love what they do? Who doesn't want to have the physical energy and mental energy to do the things that we need to do? Those important things that we need to do to make it through our day, through our business, grow, and just really just bottom line have fulfillment in life. I feel like that's the main thing. I want to feel
Mm,
fulfilled. I want to
that's
make sure I'm living a purposeful life, and self-care is going to help me do that.
that's good. That's good. Well, that's all she wrote. I think we can drop the mic right there. Drop
Oh,
the
she's talking about the shameless plug. Y'all see, she don't have her book, but y'all see my T-shirt. That's Dr. Shannon's T-shirt.
Yeah, so you can get your self care t shirt. I think I got the sweatshirt, the little crop top that I had on the other day. It comes in a whole lot of different colors. It says self care is not selfish, it's essential. So I got
Yes.
these sweatshirts, t shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, drfitness.com.
All right. And
Get those
the planner,
care.
the self-care success planner, that's on drfitnurse.com also.
Yes, and on Amazon, Amazon, and it is. We can't listen. I can't have on all this breast cancer awareness. So these are the cutest earrings
Oh, those are cute.
and made breast cancer awareness earrings. So I wear them like all October. These my earrings, y'all. I'm gonna be sick of seeing these earrings, but I can't have all this breast cancer awareness stuff and not say something about that. It is breast cancer awareness month, so feel your boobies. That's all I'm gonna say is feel your boobies, get your boobies checked, check them in the shower, zestfully clean. Make sure you go all up under here and all around there, whatever. If you feel something, say
Mhm.
something. Don't be like me. Um, yes, ma'am, Miss Nala, we can get you one.
Well,
Uh,
I'm the one who's gonna have to order it anyway, so
got it.
you don't order nothing online.
I, Dr. Latoya
She
got
makes
you.
me do the dirty work.
In the media. Thank you, Miss Nyla. But make sure you do your self breast exams. Make sure that your doctors do it when you go for your physicals every year. Make sure that you are intentional about that and know that it's breast cancer awareness month. So take a few
Right.
minutes. I know it's every website. Komen. I partner with American Cancer Society
Mhm.
and the Stars event. So that's in not this weekend, but next weekend in Virginia Beach. They have them all over the country.
Yep.
You can donate whether you want to walk, donate, or do
They have
one
some
of the
virtual walks too.
get out and move. That can be your self care for the month. If you just want to start off with a small goal. One
Yep.
self care activity this month. I prefer you do at least one a week. Can we do that? But anyway, um, if you just gonna do one self care activity for this month, make it a walk. Make it. You can do it virtually. Maybe you can
Yep.
team that socialization of self-care, being out there with all them women in pink and men in pink, to celebrate breast cancer awareness, to celebrate survivors. I'm going to be walking in honor of my late aunt. I'm going to be walking in honor of two of my dear friends who passed from breast cancer. So whatever your reason is, nobody is exempt from anything. There are things we can control as far as environmentally and our health, but some things genetically you predisposed to what you predisposed to just because of the blood that rolls through your veins. So nobody's exempt from having a cancer diagnosis, a cancer scare, or any type of diseases, but there are some preventive actions that we can take as far as what we feed ourselves nutritionally and how much activity we get every year and every day in order to make sure that we are the healthiest version of ourselves. So breast cancer awareness month, think pink, collaborate, donate, walk, get your one self care activity in. That's your homework. Get your one self care activity in for the month. If you want to go ahead and be a boss and do four for the month. I know we in like the what week we in the second week. So the next
Yeah.
2 weeks, that's your homework. You got to do one self care activity per week.
There you go.
Whether it's a walk, whether
Right
it's like
where you are. Yep. It
I
doesn't
said,
have to be nothing long. You can start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Build on up.
start somewhere and then drop us a note in the comments letting us know what self care activity you did.
Yes. So be sure to check out the her planner and the t-shirts at drfitnurse.com. Do you have a link for your team for the
Yes,
walk?
I'll put
Okay.
that.
You can put that in there if you all want to donate or connect with her for the walk. And then also be sure, look, we talking about, she said, pick at least one self-care activity. Go ahead and download your list of 50 self-care activities. So you don't even have an excuse. You got 50 things that you choose from. Just pick one. Your 50 list of self-care activities for Christian moms. That is at bit.ly. She is a nourished mom. That's bit.ly/. She is a nourished mom, and get that checklist, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we will see you guys. Be looking out for the next post as far as when we will be going live and what juicy goodness we got cooking up.
Yes,
And
and give us some ideas. Y'all have been quiet. Y'all not giving us no ideas. Give us some ideas, y'all. We're just gonna keep coming up. We just give y'all whatever we want to give y'all.
we giving what it's supposed to give. We giving what
Right.
it's all right.
All
All right.
right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you were catching the replay, type in hashtag replay. Let us know that you are here. Thanks, mommy, for joining us, and whoever else, because somebody's quiet.
Bye, Mom.
And see you, Dr. Fit Nurse.
Bye.
Bye bye.